Court of the Philippines, here's the latest. The Supreme Court En Banc, during its session on July 1, 2025, issued a writ of Kalikasan in a case which seeks to stop the construction of the Samal Island Davao City Connector Bridge Project. The writ was issued against the Department of Public Works and Highways, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Samal Island Protected Landscape and Seascape Protected Area Management Board, and China Road and Bridge Corporation. Petitioners Carmela Marie Santos, Mark Peñalver, and Sustainable Davao Movement claim that the project will cause actual, serious, and irreversible damage to coral reefs in Paradise Reef Samal Island and Hizon Marine Protected Area in Davao City. The court required the respondents to file a verified return on the petition within 10 days. It also referred the prayer for the issuance of a temporary environmental protection order to the Court of Appeals Cagayan de Oro Station for action. The Supreme Court has ruled that a child's rape by her adoptive uncle does not warrant a harsher penalty because they are not related, based on the prevailing law at the time the crime was committed. In a decision written by Associate Justice Japar de Maampao, the SC's 3rd Division found a man guilty of raping his 10-year-old adoptive niece, but ruled that his penalty cannot be increased by the qualifying circumstance of relationship. The SC upheld the accused's conviction, but declared him guilty of statutory rape instead. The SC clarified that at the time the rape was committed, the existing laws on adoption did not consider the victim to be related to her adoptive parents' family. While RA number 11642, or the Domestic Administrative Adoption and Alternative Child Care Act, expanded the relationship to include the adopter's parents, legitimate siblings, and legitimate descendants, it took effect only in 2022 and could not be applied to this case since the crime was committed in 2012. In another case, the SC has found 2 managers of a pizza restaurant guilty of simple theft for having kept service charges that should have been paid to the restaurant's employees. The SC 2nd Division, through the penensya of Associate Justice Antonio Co. Jr., sentenced 2 store managers at a Shakey's branch in Angon, Rizal to 6 months in prison. It also ordered them to pay their fellow employees the withheld service charges. The SC, however, modified the conviction from qualified theft to simple theft. Under the revised penal code, theft becomes a more serious crime known as qualified theft when it involves the abuse of trust or confidence. In this case, while the store managers took the service charges meant for the employees, the SC clarified that the victims were the employees, not the employer, Big G Phil Foods and Entertainment Inc. Since there is no special trust relationship between managers and rank-and-file workers, there was no abuse of trust or confidence in this case that would have qualified the theft. In another decision, the SC has ruled that an acknowledgement receipt cannot be considered a contract of sale unless it clearly shows that the seller intends to transfer ownership of the property to the buyer. In a penensya by Associate Justice Maria Filomena Singh, the SC's 3rd Division ruled that the agreement between Virgilio Chavez and his fellow petitioners on one hand, the spouses Joselito and Adriana Gopez on the other, was a contract to sell, not a contract of sale. The SC explained that in a contract to sell, the seller does not agree to transfer ownership of the property just yet. The seller only commits to fulfilling their promise to sell the properties and transfer title to the buyer after an event, typically the full payment of the purchase price. In this case, the acknowledgement receipt did not include any promise to transfer ownership. It only showed that the spouses needed to meet certain conditions: the payment of the purchase price, and preparation of the contract to sell, deed of sale, and estate settlement. On Monday, the SC, in partnership with the Korea International Cooperation Agency, or KOICA, held a kick-off ceremony for the implementation survey of the project titled Improving Judicial Efficiency and Accessibility by Innovating Philippine Courts at the Supreme Court in Manila. Chief Justice Alexander Esmundo, Senior Associate Justice Marvic MBF Leonen, and Associate Justice Raul Villanueva led the ceremony, while Country Director Mr. Jung Yong-sun led the team from the KOICA. In line with the Strategic Plan for Judicial Innovations 2022 to 2027, the project aims to modernize Philippine court systems, to facilitate the speedy delivery of court services by leveraging the use of modern technology, and to enhance the transparency, security, and efficiency of court processes in the Philippine judicial system. Target outputs of the project include an electronic verification system and a case record management system, capacity training of personnel for digital transformation, and digitization of court records. In a special session on Tuesday, Integrated Bar of the Philippines officers and Board of Governors took their oath before the Supreme Court En Banc at the Session Hall in Manila. Associate Justice Ramon Paul Hernando administered the oath of office to IBP National President Attorney Alan Panolong. Associate Justice Henry John Paul Inting swore in IBP Executive Vice President Attorney Randall Tabayoyong, while Associate Justice Josep Lopez led the oath-taking of the 27th Board of Governors. Meanwhile, on July 2, 2025, the Office of the Court Administrator or OCA held a turnover ceremony of the guide to the OCA circulars issued from 2022 to 2024 at the Supreme Court in Manila. Former court administrator and current SC Associate Justice Raul Villanueva and OCA Officer in Charge Assistant Court Administrator Lilian Baribalco led the event and turned over copies to the judges present. OCA circulars are also uploaded on the OCA website, oca.judiciary.gov.ph. Finally, on Wednesday, Associate Justice Raul Villanueva and Court of Appeals Associate Justice Jose Lorenzo de la Rosa held a ceremonial signing of the deed of donation to the court of a parcel of land in Poblacion, Pila, Laguna at the Supreme Court in Manila. The 1,550 square meter property donated by Justice de la Rosa will be used for the construction of the Pila, Laguna Hall of Justice. Justice Villanueva, then the court administrator, served as the signatory on behalf of the court during a signing held earlier in March. Assistant Court Administrator Lilian Baribalco, officer in charge of the Office of the Court Administrator, was also present during the ceremonial signing. You are now up to date with the Philippine Supreme Court. I am Tiffany Dobletran, Supreme Court Information Officer.